Good morning, everybody. It's Javier, and I'm excited to be with you here today to talk to you about a segment of our industry that is underserved and that is one of the most profitable ones. And of course, I'm referring to how to work with VA mortgages. We're going to start with 10 things that many borrowers, loan officers, and realtors don't know about the VA loan program. And then we're going to get into some marketing ideas, and we're going to wrap it up with an example of what you can be making by leveraging the power of this market. So let's go ahead and get started. When it comes to the VA loan program, it's a program that was created back in 1944 as a way to help World War II veterans buy their own homes. And so this is one of those very few programs out there that are literally just intended to help people that qualify, of course, just for the sake of helping them. And, I'm a recipient of this very same program. And so I bought my first home, of course, with a VA as well. So I speak from firsthand experience how it can just kind of start that process of home ownership that continues to grow and grow and grow. I bought my first home with the VA. I never used it again, even though it's available right there when I need it once again. And that's really what it's intended to do. Sometimes people just need that little push in life, and the VA is intended to do just that. The program has guaranteed more than 22 million home loans worth more than $1.7 trillion. So it's a pretty big program. And like I said earlier, it is underserved, and I'll show you that right now. So we're going to talk about 10 things that maybe you didn't know that you should. Number one is the fact that there is no down payment required and no mortgage insurance. Now, this is pretty cool because of the fact that it's one of those few programs that allows you to literally walk in there with nothing out of pocket. The whole thing about $1, you can do it with just $1. And the reality is you don't even need that $1 when it comes to the down payment. And the fact that it doesn't have that mortgage or monthly mortgage insurance is a tremendous benefit for homeowners as well. And we'll talk about a little bit more in just 1 second about the funding as well. So that's pretty cool. You can use number two, that you can use your benefit again and again. Your VA home loan benefit is not a once and done. You can use it as many times as you want, which is, again, pretty cool, because in case you come across somebody like myself who maybe right now hasn't used the VA program yet, or hasn't used it in a long time, and they say that, well, no, I already used it up way back in 1995, you can let them know immediately that the reality is you can use it again. And so assume you purchase a home with a VA loan, but now you've outgrown the home and you need something bigger. When you sell the home and you pay off the VA loan completely, you can reuse your benefit to buy another home. Your entitlement is restored in full, which is pretty cool as well. Oh, we got more people getting here a little late, so hold on, please. All right, and so that's number two. Number three, your benefit never expires, and that's another big deal. I'm going to talk about here at the end how to qualify somebody. And one of the things that you're going to have to be, well versed in is how to navigate, know a little bit of the lingo, and also how to get the documents that are required as quickly as possible. Which, when it comes to dealing with the federal government, nothing's quick enough. But your benefit never expires. Once you have earned eligibility for the VA home loan, it never goes away. Those who have served 20, 30, even 50 years ago often wonder whether they can still buy a home today if they never used their benefit. If eligibility can be established, the answer, of course, is yes. Eligibility is based on the length of time served and the period in which you served. For instance, a U.S. Army veteran with at least 90 days in the service during the Vietnam era is likely to be eligible. Incredible. And so this is something that, again, you need to be aware of. Here's something that a lot of people don't know, and that is number four: surviving spouses may be eligible. Right now, more than 3,000 surviving spouses purchased a home with their fallen partner's VA benefit. And this is back in 2015. Unremarried husbands and wives of service persons who were killed in action can buy a home with zero down payment and no mortgage insurance. Plus, the VA funding fee is waived. And that's important because even though there's no down payment and there's no monthly mortgage, there's a funding fee involved that, if qualified in this example by a surviving spouse, the actual VA funding fee is waived. And so you have to ask these questions when you're dealing with veterans to see if they qualify under this clause or one that's coming up here in just 1 second. There's no way to repay the spouse of a fallen hero, but this benefit surely helps them move forward after tragedy. Also, VA loan rates are lower. According to loan software, Ellie Mae, VA loan loans are typically about 0.25 or a quarter point lower than those of conventional loans. The VA backs mortgages, make them lower risk for lenders. Those savings are passed on to veterans as well. And that is going back to what I started with, that it's just a way of saying thank you for your service, or in some cases for your sacrifice or your spouse's sacrifice. And it does come with a lot of benefits you just simply will not find anywhere else. And there's millions and millions of people that qualify for it. They either A, don't know it, or know it, but don't know how to leverage it. And that's, of course, why you are here. And I'm just showing you some of the pricing I pulled up just yesterday so you understand the power of what we're talking about. Because what I wanted to emphasize is also the fact that you can make very good money. So there's another incentive for you to work with veterans, because it's one of the programs after FHA that pays the best as a loan officer. And you have access to quick pricer. Just go into the Price My Loan and see it for yourself how well it pays, that you can, not going to say give away, but give one hell of an interest rate right now and still make 2-3 points like it's nothing. And I'm going to show you an example of that at the end, with you charging, or not charging, but you making just 1.5 points of how much you should be making, not just with FHA, VA, but with any mortgages, in just 1 second. Number 6 is the VA loans are available from local lenders. It's important for you to obviously understand that the VA loan, home loan, is unlike any other VA benefit. If you're receiving retirement, or let's just say disability pay from the VA, it comes directly from the Treasury, the VA. This benefit is available from private companies, not the government itself. The Department of Veterans Affairs does not take applications, approve the loans, or issue funds. Private banks like us, credit unions, and mortgage companies do that. The VA provides insurance to lenders. It's officially called the VA guarantee. The VA assures the lender that it will be repaid if the veteran can no longer make payments. In turn, lenders issue loans at superior terms. In short, a VA loan gives you the best of both worlds. You enjoy your benefit, but have the convenience and speed of working with your chosen lender. Number 7 is the buy, refinance, or tap into home equity that I know of. It's the only mainstream program where somebody can cash out 100% of their equity. So if somebody wants to qualify to meet the minimums, or I should say the loan limits and so on, they could literally refinance their home and pull out up to 100% of what the home is worth, which is simply incredible. The homeowners with a VA can use their interest rate reduction refinance loan, or IRRL is what we call it, to easily drop their rate and payment without an appraisal or even pay stubs, W-2s, or bank statements. The VA Streamline Refinance, as is commonly known, gives VA loan holders a faster, cheaper way to access lower refinance rates when rates fall. IRRL. And that's exactly what it's referred to as well. Number 8, lenient guidelines for lower credit scores, bankruptcies, foreclosures. It's the most forgiving program out there. Easiest way to put it. So when you hear somebody say, I'm a veteran, however, I think my credit's not all that good, don't necessarily mean that they're not going to get it. So that's where your job comes in, to work with them, to give them a free credit report check to see what exactly shows up and how we can best deal with it. And like any client, if it's something that they might not qualify for today, at least you can put them on track to fix what needs to be fixed, the least amount that needs to be fixed, to help them qualify at some point in the future as well. And then I was mentioning this earlier with number 2, this is number 9, the funding fee waivers. VA typically charges the funding fee to defray the cost of the program and make home buying sustainable for future veterans. The point here is that when it comes to the VA program, if they are disabled, they will go ahead and waive that funding fee. Not everybody pays the VA funding fee, because veterans who are receiving compensation for a service-connected disability are exempt. Likewise, veterans who are eligible for disability compensation but are receiving retirement or active duty pay instead are also exempt from the fee. So it's important for you to ask the actual veteran whether or not they are receiving any type of disability pay, because in many cases, especially if it's something that's more to do with mental health, the physical body might seem okay, or they might have an injury that you just cannot see. And so if you're dealing with the veteran, it's very important for you to ask them if they are receiving disability compensation, because they might be able to get that funding fee waived as well, which is, of course, a lot of money. And then number 10, you can buy a condo with the VA loan. You can buy many types of property with the VA loan, including a single family home, a home for up to 4 units, even manufactured homes. The condominiums are commonly overlooked by VA home buyers. And that's something that, of course, is an excellent way to start off, or if you would, a starter home, and better price point and so on. And unlike many other programs that sometimes don't allow it, with the VA, they are allowed to buy a condo. Now, places where you can market this, well, we're going to start with the most obvious one, and that's police departments. We've been dealing with police departments and probably a good portion of our actual VA loans come from police departments. And so what you need to do as a loan officer, as a real estate agent, is learn how to penetrate these markets. They're not the easiest to penetrate, but they're far from being hard. And once you get into these markets, I will tell you right now that it could be a relationship that you established that lasts you for your entire career. I was just in a webinar earlier today on the financial services side of the house, and Keith, who I think is on this call, was just telling me how that other system notified him of the anniversary or policy anniversary of the life insurance policy that we got at one of the police departments, and he gave him a call to check on him, and everything was fine. But a good portion of these police officers are veterans, and if they are not a veteran themselves, I guarantee you they work with a bunch of veterans that can be referred to you as well. And so the question is, how do you penetrate these markets? And the answer is it takes training, and thankfully we provide that training. Whether it be Baker Vegas, which is a race sponsorship, whether it be you sponsoring a fundraising barbecue for a fallen officer, injured officer. There are always officers that are off on medical leave, if you would, that are running out of sick time, that if you simply volunteer to go ahead and sponsor a fundraising barbecue for them, they're going to thank you for life. And your only condition, of course, is to show up to their roll calls that day of the barbecue. Usually they have 3 to 5 roll calls a day, to take 2 minutes of their time to introduce yourself, not on the barbecue, but in the actual roll call, and go ahead and let them know that, look, listen, I just wanted to make myself available in case any of you here are interested in buying, selling, or refinancing a home. I can help you. And we have programs just for law enforcement and their families that if we represent you on the purchase of a home on both the real estate and the mortgage side, we'll pay for all of your closing costs. And if there's any veterans here, 0 down payment will get you into a home. And if you already own a home, I'm sure you've heard, interest rates are at historic lows. Let's find some money we can save you. Take those savings and then simply put them towards your savings or even your retirement accounts and be that much better off. Anything is better than giving it away to the bank. Save that money for yourself, your family, your children, and it starts with the rate check that we can do right here on the spot, absolutely for free. And then before you know it, you're going to start generating more business that you can shake a stick at. Another great market full of veterans, firefighters. So a lot of firefighters, the same exact thing. They have their own universe, their own world, fundraisers for their fallen firefighters and so on, that if you just simply make them aware that you are willing to help them, they will take you up on that offer all day long. We get requests for help all the time. I just don't have a lot of time. I've traveled a lot. As you guys know, I just got back from Dubai and Abu Dhabi. I leave tomorrow for Mexico City. I come back on Thursday. So I don't have all the time that I used to have. But if you are starting off or are looking to grow your business right now, this is an excellent, excellent way to do it. And I'll give you the last one where a ton of veterans are, and that's the post office. Most people don't think of the post office when they think of veterans, but a good portion of those employees are exactly that because they're still federal employees. And when you are in the service, and a lot of the recruiters come to talk to those that are about to leave, the post office was one of the top destinations, including, of course, Customs and Border and all kinds of stuff. But the point of it is that you need to get out of your comfort zone to do this. Most people that want to make it big in this industry fail at understanding how important marketing will play a role in your success or lack of success. I make no secret, 90% of the loan officers will not make it. 95% of realtors will fail miserably. And 95% of the time is because they just simply fail to get out of their comfort zone and do what needed to be done. You don't need to know how mortgages work. You don't need to know how real estate works. You just need to know how to market. And either A, you're going to be willing to do what you need to do, which is to go out there and market your services, or you're not. And if you're not, you're going to more than likely fail. Very simple math. That has never changed since the beginning of time and never will. And so therefore, it's important for you to understand and sometimes be reminded of what brought you in here and how simple it can be to make good money between, let's just say, FHA, between VA, between reverse mortgages, between all these things that I'm mentioning to you. I'm going to show you here just 1 second how simple it can be. Now, save yourself the time when you're working with an actual potential buyer when it comes to a VA loan. If you talk to a veteran, one of the first things you want to do is ask to see a copy of their DD-214, which is their discharge paperwork. This will tell us immediately whether or not they qualify for the VA program. Now, part of the reason I say always start with this is because it'll show you that, first of all, they do qualify, but they might qualify, but they might not have a DD-214. It's a very important document that most veterans keep close to them. I did, but all of a sudden mine's disappeared. So if I'm looking to buy a home right now, and I tell you that I was honorably discharged, but yet I don't have a DD-214 to show you, that tells you better not be looking at properties, you better not be opening escrow or any of that stuff, because you're going to need the DD-214 along with the certificate of eligibility. The good news is that the COE, or certificate of eligibility, we can run down to the federal building in Westwood and get a copy in 10 minutes. The DD-214 is a completely different beast. It comes from a different place, and it takes a hell of a lot longer to obtain. So before you do anything, always ask to see a copy of the DD-214. And if not, there are services. If they don't have it, like me, I started a process with the VA 2 months ago. And the first thing they asked me is, send us over a copy of your DD-214. I couldn't find it. So I called them and I said, hey, well, hell, you're the VA. I'm sure you can get your hands on my DD. They're like, no, we can't. You have to request that from personnel where it's archived. They gave me the process that was going to take literally months and months and months. As you know, dealing with the federal government, I ended up opting for a private company. I literally just arrived, like as I said, from Dubai, and it finally got here in the mail. I had to pay a company $190 to go get it for me, basically, and I just received it. And so therefore, what's very important for you to do is whenever you have a veteran in front of you, always start by seeing a copy of their DD-214. If they don't have a physical copy, a digital only, we can work with that. But we're going to need a copy of the original DD-214 eventually. And so therefore, it's important for them to have one. So if they don't have it, then they're going to have to either start the process through the federal government or just hire a private company. They do a hell of a lot better. And it costs money, of course, but it's money well spent.
Hey, Javier.
Go ahead.
So we do now have a service internally where we can request the DD-214 online.
Oh, perfect.
Always get it. And I'm not sure what it depends on. Sometimes it's how long it's been since they've served. It depends on a lot of different things, but we're getting about 60 to 70% of them. We're able to get them online very, very quickly, actually. So if you have a VA veteran that does not have his DD-214, they do have their COE, their certificate of eligibility. Get that information over to me, and I can let you know generally within 2 to 3 days if we can get it. And then if we can get it, then obviously they don't need to worry about it. But if they don't, yeah, then it's a process, and we need to get them started.
Perfect. And that's really important because, like I said, eventually we're going to need it from one place to another. And I'm here to do that. E-benefits, it's also another source for veterans from Raymond Roman. You know, what I found out from my own personal experience, that so much of this has to do with when they served. That has a lot to do with how recently they were discharged. I went through the VA e-service and they didn't have mine. I'm not that old, but for whatever reason, after a certain year was the cutoff, and they just couldn't find mine on the e-benefits. So they had to go, it was just a mess. And so the point is that it's nice to show them the different options. I would start with RET because this is a service that's intended to do just that for VA loans. And let me tell you, and I'll say it again, it's an underserved market that if you understand how big it is, you will have no problem not just thriving in it, but thriving in it more by working the referrals, because veterans know who, well, other veterans as well. There's no reason for you to be here with Radiant Mortgage Bank not making at least $50,000 to $100,000 a year. Excuse me, not just with VA, but with everything we have to offer. And so I challenge you to be of the mindset that it's not okay to not be productive, to not have an escrow open, to not have a loan in process or a couple of them at any given time. Don't do that to yourself. Hold yourself to a high standard. Then if you're not making money, sound the alarm. Something is very wrong. And 99% of the time when I troubleshoot people's business is that they're making no effort to market. Oh, well, I do talk to them when I go to the barbershop. That's not it. That's not marketing. Marketing requires a solid plan that you execute. And most importantly, you monitor on a daily and hourly basis. From 1 to 10, how badly do you need to succeed? Do you need to make money? Do you need to win? For some, it's, well, -1. For others, it's 1. For others, it's 3. I told you before, and I'll say it again, the automation is the key nowadays. I was in Dubai. I came back. I have a bunch of people that I've been meeting with via Zoom that all took place while I was gone, not even worrying about business, because I purposely told Calendly I was not going to take any webinars until I came back. And as soon as I got back, woke up and started my day off with that, submitted a couple of new hires already that I've recruited, and all of it in an automated way. So if you really want it bad enough, you're going to find a way. If you don't want it bad enough, you'll find an excuse. That's just how simple it is. And I'll give you an example of what I mean as I wrap it up and hand it over to Rhett right now. I just ran a generic scenario here. FHA, it could be VA, using a price find loan for, let's just say, $500,000. You're not going to find too many $500,000 property in Southern California. $17,500 down payment, 3.5% down, using the closing cost assistance program that you could take some of the money being generated from the loan and pay for some of the recurring and non-recurring expenses that will make you the hero of a loan officer or a realtor and loan officer at the same time. And I'll leave you with this right here. This is the pricing, 3.6 at 100%, 98.5, 97.5. Here's the pricing as a VA. And here's where I'll wrap it up and let you just simmer in this. If you take a loan amount, small one for Southern California, $482,500, and you make 1.5 points of compensation, you're the hero because you gave them a hell of a rate, but that still makes you over $7,000. Now, if you go out there and do this just once a month, one closing per month, that's $86,000 a year. And if you learn how to do one consistently, I guarantee you, you'll be able to close two consistently. That's $14,000 a month, or $173,000 a year. Think about that for just 1 second. Now compare that to your current income this month. And if it's not close to it, you better change what you're doing in the coming weeks. Otherwise, guess what? When it comes down to October, it'll be looking a lot like September every single time. And the craziest thing, we're not even talking about some crazy numbers. Brett, what is on average, our top, let's just say the top producer on our branch funds, how many loans a month you see consistently?
Typically 7 or 8.
Call 7 or 8. We're not even talking 7 or 8 or 6 or 5 or 4 or even 3. You should be insulted that I'm challenging you to do 2 closings a month and say, who the hell do you think I am? What do you think I am? I'm hungry. I'm here to win, Javier. What the hell are you talking about? But even if you failed miserably with 1 loan closing per month, that's $86,000 a year. Now, I don't know what the average loan takes you to close, but the average loan takes probably the average person. Brett, what do you think? How many hours? 3 to 5, or what do you think of hours of work?
Total time involved?
Yeah.
For the loan officer?
Yeah, for the loan officer.
Maybe 5 hours if you're including doing a little bit of traveling.
Okay, 5 hours if you're slow.
Maybe.
Okay, maybe. And if it takes
I've done deals where I had spent an hour and 15 minutes probably total.
I mean, guys, we're not talking about rocket science here. We're talking about you spending, I always say 3 to 5 hours. And if it takes you more than 5 hours, come talk to me. I'll help you out to find out what it is that you're doing. But call it 6. But my God, if it takes you just, let's just say 5 hours, and that is slow, that's still well over $1,000 an hour per loan. Now, call it 10 hours. Now, if it takes you 10 hours, something's really wrong. But 10 hours out of how many hours in a week? How many hours in a month? What the hell are you doing with the rest of your time? Maybe you have a job. Maybe you have a family. I understand that. You want to travel the world. I'm with you. But we do have time. Of course, we have that kind of time. And so therefore, 6, 7, 8 fundings a month, I think that's where we should all be, period. And God forbid you have a goose egg. God forbid you have a 0. I tell everybody that if you don't close at least 1 quarter, you know what, then we are going to basically suspend your sponsorship. And because if you're not doing that, why even get the license? People tell me, it sounds like you're trying to unrecruit, unmotivate. No, I'm not trying to do that. I'm just being realistic. I don't believe in blowing smoke. I believe in holding myself and holding you, and you holding yourself accountable to something worth holding ourselves accountable to. Because I learned that if you talk to people the way they are, they'll stay the way they are. And that's just not what I'm all about. I'm about bringing out the best version of you and me. And so therefore we have to talk to ourselves as who we can become, who we want to be. And so please don't come to me with this one loan a month. Then you don't need a bank. You don't need to work with us. I can guarantee you that right now. There's a broker somewhere that will gladly take you for your one deal a year. You don't need to work with the bank. You don't need the comp plan. We don't need a 100% contract like we give you, because it's only going to hurt more when you make nothing, when you can make so much. And so therefore, it's important for you to know that what I'm showing you, I hope you take it the right way, that, my God, two loans a month is 173,000 a year. If you're slow and it takes you 5 hours per loan, that's 10 hours a month. Then the question is, what on earth are you doing with the rest of your hours? Most of us don't even know. If you ever really want to know where your time goes, take inventory of it. And we will all be shocked as how much time we spend thinking we're in business where we're just caught up being busyness. And they're two different things. One pays well, the other one pays nothing. And so I challenge you, leverage the power of Radiant. Otherwise, why be here? It's a hell of an expensive license to get, to maintain. And here we go, continuing education all over again. It's nothing less than a pain in the butt. Now, if you're making 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, it's worth it. But if you're making zero, then yeah, it's a very expensive thing that it's a matter of time before you just die and go away. And I don't want that to happen. I just want you to succeed and do what you're capable of doing and achieving as well. What I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to go hand it over to Rhett. Rhett, anything you got? It's all yours, sir. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Javier. As always, great information. And I think it's appropriate right now. We actually have, I think, more VA loans in process right now than we normally do. I think it's a good time to be talking about this. We also, in the next few weeks, we want to be talking a little bit about some reverse mortgage stuff, because I think over the coming, probably over the coming years, reverse mortgages are going to start playing a much larger piece of our puzzle, because it's just the demographics. There's more people getting older and retiring, and there's a lot of business out there that you may be leaving on the table if you're not thinking about reverse mortgages. And also, as realtors, you should be thinking about reverse mortgages as purchases, because to use a reverse mortgage in a purchase, especially when you have somebody who's downsizing, they're selling a property, they've got a chunk of cash, they can go in, put down 55, 58% down payment and never have a payment for the rest of their lives. So it's something to think about. In regards to market, trended up a little bit this week. We had a couple really bad days for the bond market, and then we recovered part of that on Friday. But overall, I think it wound up raising interest rates maybe 1/8 of a point for the week. I expect that to probably reverse come Monday or Tuesday, because the trend is actually just straight sideways. So there's just a lot of different things going on in the market right now. One of the good things for realtors is, in my opinion anyway, housing starts data came out, and I think that one of the most important ways to look at what's going on in our economy right now is what's happening with real estate. And when housing permits are up, building is up. There for a long time, because of the pandemic and because of various things, we had almost no building going on. Back in the 2008, we lost 5 or 6 years of building, and it really has driven the market to where it is today, is because there was just not enough housing. And so the housing permit data came out. It's was better than expected. So I think that, along with, it appears anyway that lumber prices have come down a little bit, and that has stabilized a little bit. So I think that We're going to start seeing some more inventory. Uh, there was a lot of talk about how there's going to be a lot of foreclosures, and I think there still will be some foreclosures that happen come January, February, March, April. But I don't think it's going to be as much as everybody was talking about originally. We're seeing new data that's kind of contradicting that earlier data that was talking doom and gloom, and now it's not looking quite as bad as it was. So I think that even with that, we're still going to see more inventory. And if you're an active realtor out there, you've already noticed some prices are coming down. It appears that listing prices are becoming more in line with actual value. We still see quite a few that are coming in over appraised value, but not nearly as much as it was. It's, I haven't seen an offer come in more than about $20,000 over list price in a couple of weeks. There for a while, we had a couple that came in at $80,000 over list price. And it was just kind of getting kind of ridiculous. So it seems to have settled down a little bit, and we're looking forward to the next few months. I think we're going into a good time for us. So as Javier always says, you got to go out there and you got to take advantage. You got to do something. You got to create some activity. Last week we talked about I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but we talked about developing a goal system and developing a vision of what you want to become and what you want to do. And I think every day, this is something you guys need to be thinking about. What am I going to do today to further my vision? What is my vision? Do I have a clear picture in my mind of where I want to go? Don't worry about the time frame in the beginning, because quite frankly, the stronger that picture is, and the more you bring that picture up in your mind or look at that picture, the time frame will dramatically reduce from anything you even thought possible. So just if you need help, Javier's here, I'm here. You have a lot of support in the company, and whether you're looking to do you need a scenario done, you need a cross qualification done, we can help you with that. And I am in something else I'm working on right now is we're going to establish for those of you with Radiant, we're working on establishing an elite loan officer team, whereby we'll give you certain, based upon the way you're submitting files, you're going to make more money. Basically, you're going to make more money. You're going to close deals faster. We're experimenting a little bit right now. I put a couple purchases in using some new ideas that Devin and I came up with, and we're going to see just how quickly we can close these deals using these procedures. But right now we are about a week ahead of time in regards to closing. So I'm excited about that. I think it's going to make it a lot easier for our realtors to make shorter offers, larger deposits, and help you and them get more offers accepted. So we'll be talking more about that in the next 3 weeks or so as these deals start closing, and I'll keep you posted on that. Javier?
Cool. Thank you so much, Red. I appreciate that. I just really want to challenge everybody to take advantage of the opportunity before you, not just simply within the Radiant Mortgage Bank family, but also with everything that the industry has to offer right now. Challenging time for some, but it's all opportunity for others. And it all boils down to your mindset. The greatest challenge I've learned is that we are all hardwired for survival. We're not hardwired for success. And so a lot of the times we'll do just enough to survive, but not quite enough to succeed. And I got a great book that I wanted to share with all of you that talks about the insights as to that. And that's very unique. I had never thought about that. And then it made sense. A lot of made sense that a lot of things made sense where we really are hardwired for survival. We're not hardwired for success. And so that's why so many times we settle and we settle and we settle because deep down inside, you're hardwired to survive. And which is more important than succeeding, by the way. And so therefore, wanting to succeed takes on a different mindset that you have to work on yourself to be able to pay the price if you would. Any questions, comments, concerns from anybody before we wrap it up? This is your chance. Just hit the unmute and everybody here can unmute themselves to make sure that we answer any questions, comments, concerns, anything at all. This is all about you. Just so you guys know, this is one of our last Zoom-based webinars. We're going to be switching to something called Ecamm Live. Ecamm Live is basically a streaming platform. And the reason we're switching it is kind of for what this reason is that Zoom was intended for us initially to be able to interact questions and we answer and, we get to see each other. Nobody ever says a damn thing. And so therefore, what we're going to do is switch to Ecamm Live, where it's going to be streaming on several platforms at the same time, including Facebook, including our pages on Facebook, including also on YouTube. And so when you go to rmbwebinar.com in weeks, not now, but in a few weeks, it'll take you to YouTube because it'll start on YouTube. It also gets me out of the video editing business because it starts on YouTube and it just simply stays on YouTube once the recording is done. No need to do anything beyond that. And it takes quite a bit of time sometimes to go back, clean it up, edit it, upload it. That's why the videos are not up until for a couple hours in most cases. And so therefore we'll do that. And you can still participate questions via, you got to type them in if you would chat only. And if that doesn't work out, then we'll just go to a recorded class that gets debuted or released every Saturday at 10. I really want to keep it live, but it's all about you. You're in full control of that. So we'll see where it goes. But again, thank you so much for all that you do. And I challenge everybody to go out there and make this coming week the most productive week in the history of your business to make sure that you get from where you are right now to where you really deserve to be along with your family as well. Last call, questions, comments, concerns, going once, twice. If not, thank you for all you do. And most importantly, please stay safe and stay healthy out there. Thank you.